Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. This account is presented for educational and entertainment purposes, drawing from reports of federal courtroom testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. The moment arrived. After months of rumors, leaked documents, and intense public scrutiny, Sean Jay-Z Carter entered the courtroom. He wasn't there as the music titan or cultural icon, but as a man defending himself against disturbing allegations. Diddy's empire was crumbling, with lurid details of freak-off parties emerging under oath, and Jay-Z found himself ensnared by association. His name had been linked to places he claimed never to have visited, events he insisted never occurred, and victims he maintained he'd never met. The world watched, wondering how he would respond under such immense pressure. This is the unfolding drama of Jay-Z's testimony. The courtroom hushed after a contentious morning of legal maneuvers. The prosecution was preparing to reintroduce evidence from Cassie Ventura's testimony. Diddy's legal team, a mixture of boredom and overconfidence, shuffled papers. Then the doors swung open, not discreetly but with a deliberate, purposeful air, as if truth itself was finally cornering those who had evaded it. Jay-Z strode in, clad in a perfectly tailored midnight navy suit that seemed to serve as armor. He bypassed glances and nods, unaccompanied by his usual entourage, Beyoncé, or his Rock Nation team. It was just him, a living legend appearing in a courtroom that hadn't anticipated his presence, certainly not as a witness under oath. Gasps rippled through the room. The gallery rose reflexively. A journalist's pen clattered to the floor. Cassie Ventura, seated near the prosecution, leaned in to whisper to her attorney. Even the judge raised an eyebrow. Diddy, turning towards the entrance, stared unblinking at Jay-Z, as if encountering a ghost from his past. This appearance was unscheduled, unforeseen by both media and public. Jay-Z had sought a sealed session for his statement, but the court ruled for transparency. Now he was poised to deliver the performance of his life, not through lyrics but through stark recollection. He took the stand, swore his oath, and the room, filled with federal prosecutors, entertainment journalists, and high-powered attorneys, leaned forward, captivated, as if hearing a forbidden first verse. His voice was calm, controlled, yet strained, like a taut wire. "I need to make one thing clear," he began. "Staying silent is no longer an option for me." With that sentence, the atmosphere shifted profoundly. When Sean Carter speaks, not the business mogul, not the rapper, not the billionaire, but the man behind it all, it ceases to be mere testimony. It becomes a reckoning. Jay-Z wasted no time. His initial defense wasn't denial, but a potent framing of the situation. "Yes, I received invitations to Diddy's gatherings. Yes, I attended. But let me be absolutely clear. What I witnessed and what I was led to believe were two entirely different realities." He spoke with precision and gravity. His lawyers remained rigid while the defense appeared bewildered. Was he helping them? Or was he turning against Diddy? The answers would emerge gradually. Jay-Z then revealed something unexpected to the court. "I observed the elaborate preparations, the non-disclosure agreements, the confiscated phones, the curtained-off back rooms. I never entered those rooms. I never signed those documents, but I knew something was deeply wrong." That statement shattered the courtroom's composure. It wasn't just an acknowledgement of presence, but an admission of witnessing the inner workings of the alleged enterprise Diddy had constructed, a system that Cassie, Dawn, Richard, and others had vividly described. Jay-Z addressed the jury directly. "You see, in this business, there are parties, and then there are parties. And the ones I attended, the ones I eventually walked away from, ceased being mere parties. They were meticulously designed experiences, not for enjoyment, but for control and power." The prosecution then inquired, "Did you ever directly witness any criminal activity?" Jay-Z hesitated. "No, not directly, but I saw enough to realize I shouldn't have been there." He recounted an unsettling event from 2015, a supposed birthday celebration for Christian Combs in Miami. where he described the atmosphere as peculiar. "They wore masks," he stated. "Actual masks. A man dressed in leather, wearing only high heels, walked past me. Others laughed. I didn't, because that man looked terrified." Jay-Z confirmed he left abruptly that night, arranging for a separate driver to avoid any association with the unsettling scene. Then the prosecution produced a blurry but authenticated photograph: Jay-Z, Diddy, LeBron James, and Beyoncé in a room with a man in a latex mask kneeling on a velvet pillow. Jay-Z gazed at the image in silence. "I was present for that moment," he confirmed. "I was told it was performance art. I didn't find it amusing. I didn't stay." He then fixed his gaze on Diddy. "You exploited people's trust." Diddy's jaw visibly slackened for the first time. What followed transformed Jay-Z's testimony from damage control into an act of destruction. He detailed a private conversation with Diddy in late 2018 as rumors of investigations began to ripple through the industry. According to Jay-Z, Diddy called him, attempting to get ahead of something, advising him to be careful who you stand next to. Jay-Z recalled directly asking Diddy, "Did you do anything irreversible?" Diddy allegedly replied, "They're just parties, Jay. Just experiences. No one gets hurt unless they want to." Jay-Z's voice faltered slightly. "That was our last genuine conversation." He addressed the courtroom. "I stopped taking his calls after that." Jay-Z explained his subsequent efforts to distance himself, skipping Revolt events, withdrawing from collaborations, and instructing Roc Nation representatives to keep our brand clear of whatever Puff is involved in. The prosecution then unveiled an email exchange from early 2020 between Jay-Z's legal team and an anonymous party, warning that NDAs from past events might be used against attendees, even if they were not directly involved. Jay-Z nodded. "I understood the implication. They intended to use silence as a shield. I wasn't about to be trapped behind it." He concluded this segment of his testimony with a declaration that instantly made headlines. "He was once my brother, but now I see who he truly was and who I nearly became by being too close." Silence descended upon the courtroom, the ripple effects only just beginning. As Jay-Z leaned forward in the witness chair, hands clasped, his voice grew strong, though tinged with undeniable emotion. The courtroom had already been shaken by the allegations, but now the focus shifted. Jay-Z wasn't merely a celebrity embroiled in another scandal. He was a husband, a father, and a man safeguarding his life's work. "I must speak about my family," he began, looking directly at the jury. "Because when my name is dragged through the mud, theirs is too." The room fell silent. Jurors leaned in. Reporters ceased typing. Even Diddy, who had been scribbling notes, looked up. Jay-Z described the profound impact the accusations had on Beyoncé and their children. "Blue Ivy is old enough to read headlines now," he stated. "She asked me what a freak-off was. No father should ever have to explain that." He recounted how reporters swarmed their home and paparazzi besieged Blue's school after the initial lawsuit implicated him, transforming his life into a tabloid battleground. "My wife has stood by me through everything. But this was different. This wasn't about business disputes or career rivalries. This was a nuclear explosion detonated on our family. And the most egregious part is, it was all based on a falsehood." He then addressed the specific claim that he and Beyoncé attended the alleged Miami freak-off in 2015. Jay-Z produced a folder containing flight records. "On the night in question, we were in Paris," he stated. "It was our anniversary. We stayed at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. I've provided the hotel receipt, photographs, video timestamps, and numerous eyewitness accounts. We were not there." The prosecution reviewed the materials. The judge confirmed the dates. The evidence was concrete, but Jay-Z didn't stop there. He condemned the culture of sensationalism and unverified rumors that had allowed these falsehoods to flourish. "When did we stop demanding proof?" he challenged the room. "When did accusation become conviction?" He stressed that his reputation was intertwined with his wife's, his children's, and his entire legacy. "I've spent decades building something honorable, something that uplifts our community, and in a single headline, it's smeared without a shred of evidence." While Beyoncé was mentioned, Jay-Z carefully avoided leveraging her fame, instead speaking of her as a mother, unjustly targeted. "I came here to defend the truth," he declared, "and to ensure that no one, not even a billionaire, can bury people under a mountain of lies." Jay-Z's composure remained unyielding, but his voice sharpened as he addressed the next major accusation: his alleged presence at a party at Gloria and Emilio Estefan's mansion in Miami during one of Diddy's purported freak-off events. "I want to be unequivocally clear," Jay-Z began. "I have never in my life attended a party at Gloria Estefan's house. Not in Miami, not anywhere." He presented a trove of documents, a detailed timeline of his activities for that week, supported by security logs, transportation manifests, and charity event programs. He meticulously walked the court through every hour of the alleged date. "On the night of the supposed party, I was in Los Angeles attending a charity dinner hosted by the Sean Carter Foundation at the Peterson Automotive Museum." He added, "Here is my speech transcript. Here is the guest list. Here is a photograph with the mayor." The evidence was indisputable. The court clerk displayed the museum's security log, precisely detailing Jay-Z's entrance and exit. Yet, the most impactful part wasn't the proof itself, but his dissection of how these rumors originated. Jay-Z critiqued the vague language in lawsuits and the insidious power of innuendo. "You don't need a lie to be loud," he stated. "You just need it to be repeated." He explained that his name had been linked to these rumors not by direct witness accounts, but by his past association with Diddy's events. "Is this what it's come to? Because I once attended a brunch, I'm now deemed complicit in everything this man is accused of." He told the jury that the media narrative had spun uncontrollably. They printed that I was seen somewhere I've never been, and that single sentence morphed into dozens of articles, thousands of tweets, and irreparable DM nag. Jay-Z's team submitted a report detailing how numerous news outlets had repeated the false claim without seeking comment or verification. As the judge affirmed the validity of his records, Jay-Z looked pointedly at the prosecution. "If you're going to drag a man into a trial of this magnitude, you had better have more than gossip and speculation." The final segment of Jay-Z's testimony ventured into a darker, more surreal territory as he confronted the deluge of conspiracy theories that had engulfed Diddy's downfall. He shook his head, glancing at the jury. "I've been labeled many things in this industry, but Illuminati puppet, master manipulator, murderer by association, those are new." He acknowledged the internet frenzy, the TikTok videos connecting him to figures like Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Jeffrey Epstein. "They say, where there's smoke, there's fire," he remarked, "but sometimes the smoke is merely fog machines and YouTube edits." Jay-Z specifically addressed outlandish accusations, his alleged involvement in Aaliyah's death, orchestrating the deaths of Michael Jackson and Tupac, and bribing individuals to silence them about Diddy's freak-offs. "Not a single one of these claims is supported by a shred of evidence," he asserted, "yet they proliferate because they sell." He then produced a printed Reddit thread, widely upvoted, speculating about his supposed inner circle with Beyoncé and Diddy. He held it up. "This is what passes for journalism now?" Jay-Z explained the tangible harm these theories inflicted. "Family members have been followed, business partners have withdrawn, and I've even received death threats, all because someone online connected non-existent dots." In a surprising turn, he admitted that his previous silence might have worsened the situation. "I didn't speak sooner because I believed the truth would be obvious, but perhaps I underestimated how quickly lies travel when they're accompanied by slick production and ominous music." He concluded his statement with a powerful plea. "I'm not asking you to like me. I'm asking you to listen, to think, to demand proof. Because if we don't draw a line here today, none of us are safe from what comes next." Jay-Z leaned back, his testimony complete. In a courtroom where murmurs had become headlines, his voice had just redefined the terms of engagement. As Jay-Z concluded his direct testimony and a tense silence settled over the room, the lead prosecutor rose. His name had been circulating for days, an aggressive federal litigator known for unsettling even the most seasoned celebrities. He adjusted his glasses and fixed his gaze on Jay-Z, who remained composed but visibly alert. "Mr. Carter," the prosecutor began, "you claim you were never at Gloria Estefan's house. You've provided logs, photos, timestamps. That's all quite persuasive." Jay-Z nodded slowly. "Because it's the truth." "But," the prosecutor continued, pacing slightly, "you have, by your own admission, attended Diddy-hosted events in the past. High-profile ones, brunches, fundraisers, award parties." "Yes," Jay-Z responded cautiously. "Public events, industry events, nothing comparable to what's being described here." The prosecutor paused, then leaned in. "Did you ever witness anything inappropriate at any of those events?" Jay-Z hesitated, not for long, but enough for everyone to notice. "No," he finally stated. "I saw celebrities networking, music playing, the usual." "And you never saw Cassie Ventura at one of these events, or any behavior that made you uncomfortable?" Jay-Z's jaw tightened. "Cassie was often present. She was Diddy's partner, but I never observed her in distress, and I certainly never witnessed the things she's detailed in her testimony." The prosecutor shifted tactics. "So, when you now hear her claims of coercion, abuse, and the so-called freak-offs, you're saying you're completely blindsided?" "I'm saying I didn't see it," Jay-Z asserted firmly. "And if I had, I wouldn't have remained silent." The prosecutor nodded. "That's what Russell Simmons claimed as well." A collective gasp filled the room. Jay-Z blinked, his composed expression momentarily faltering. "Objection!" Jay-Z's attorney barked. The judge sustained the objection, but the implication lingered. The prosecutor persisted, suggesting that Jay-Z's proximity to Diddy granted him access to more than just music industry influence. He implied Jay-Z knew more than he was admitting, but without direct evidence, it remained a strategic maneuver. The jury observed, some skeptical, others sympathetic. Jay-Z's final response before stepping down cut through the tension. "I'm not here to shield Diddy. I'm here to protect my own name. And if I had been part of that world, if I had even suspected it, I wouldn't be testifying. I'd be on trial myself." As Jay-Z descended from the witness stand, adjusting his suit jacket, he briefly glanced towards the gallery. Beyoncé wasn't present, yet her absence was palpable in every gaze. He exited through a side door, escorted by security, but the courtroom remained electrified. Whispers, headshakes, and gasps, some expressing disbelief, others vindication. Reporters in the gallery exchanged frantic texts and notes. Social media was already ablaze. Headlines flashed. Jay-Z breaks silence under oath. Jay-Z versus prosecution. Jay-Z defends Beyoncé and family from Diddy ties. There was no waiting for a verdict. The internet had already delivered its own. But within the room, a more intricate drama was unfolding. The jury remained inscrutable. Juror 4, a middle-aged black woman in a beige pantsuit, diligently scribbled in her notepad. Juror 9, a young man with a military haircut, stared intently at the empty witness chair long after Jay-Z had departed. The alternate juror silently chewed on his pen cap, his brow furrowed. One spectator, a former bad boy intern, was captured by the sketch artist wiping away tears. She later told a reporter during recess, "He spoke as if he didn't know, yet we saw him at those events. Perhaps he didn't see what we saw, or perhaps he simply chose to look away." Cassie Ventura maintained a stoic expression at her attorney's table. She showed no reaction during Jay-Z's testimony, but when his voice cracked, mentioning Blue Ivy, she briefly looked up, not with empathy, but almost with a question. Was he protecting his family, or merely protecting himself? Even Diddy, who had remained largely impassive throughout the trial, showed signs of agitation. He tapped his pen faster, his eyes scanning the room. Jay-Z's denials had impacted him, not as a betrayal, but as a signal. The ship was sinking, and everyone was seeking a lifeboat. The judge called a brief recess, and as the room emptied into the hallway, conflicting voices erupted. Some were unequivocally Team Jay-Z. He provided receipts. He came clean. What more could they want? Others remained unconvinced. He's just trying to save face. He's been part of that system forever. And amidst the clashing opinions, the truth remained elusive. Nobody truly knew, but everyone had an opinion. Back at Roc Nation headquarters, the atmosphere was tense. Jay-Z's team issued no official statement after his testimony. His attorney, Alex Spiro, offered only a succinct quote outside the courthouse. Mr. Carter testified truthfully and courageously. We stand by his integrity. But the world wasn't waiting for legal summaries. Within 12 hours, every major news outlet from TMZ to the New York Times had dissected his testimony. Some lauded his transparency, while others branded it as calculated damage control. Beyoncé's name trended globally for 36 consecutive hours. Her publicist declined to comment. Fans were divided, some fiercely defending her, others questioning the depth of the couple's connection to Diddy. Meanwhile, the prosecution regrouped. Jay-Z hadn't shattered their case, but he had undeniably complicated it. He had humanized himself, distanced his family, and redirected the spotlight. Yet in doing so, he inadvertently highlighted another issue: the music industry's pattern of plausible deniability. The district attorney's office released a quiet statement. While Mr. Carter's testimony was significant, our investigation remains ongoing and extends beyond any one individual. Translation: this is far from over. Then came the unpredictable element. 50 Cent. Never one to remain silent, he posted a photo of Jay-Z on the stand with the caption, "Nice performance, but we ain't forgot them brunches, my guy." It went instantly viral. In the ensuing days, other celebrities subtly re-entered the conversation. Alicia Keys reposted a quote about truth-piercing silence. Questlove tweeted cryptic emojis. Even Oprah posted a vague story about rebuilding from ashes. Jay-Z's reputation had been bruised, but it hadn't collapsed. His testimony, for better or worse, marked a pivotal moment where silence was no longer an option. And in a case brimming with twists, one truth was clear. The courtroom wasn't merely trying Diddy, it was trying an entire era of power, proximity, and protection. Jay-Z had survived the stand, but the true trial, the trial of his legacy, was only just beginning.